News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Wednesday on Wall Street. It's the last day of 2025 where stocks and bonds slipped along with gold and silver, bringing a subdued close to an otherwise buoyant year. We bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 lost 51 points. NASDAQ lost 177. The Dow lost 304 points. Now, the bond market closed at 2 p.m. Wall Street time. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.16%. The 2-year yield at 3.47%. Silver is down 6.8%, and spot gold down about 0.6%. President Trump appeared to signal his displeasure with Russian President Vladimir Putin by sharing a New York Post editorial criticizing the Kremlin and arguing that Trump should turn up the heat on Russia. The editorial casts doubt on Russia's allegations that Ukrainian drones targeted one of Putin's residences, saying that Ukraine has denied the attack allegations. The editorial argues that the answer should not be more concessions, but a bigger stick. The U.S. is discussing stronger security guarantees for Ukraine. Envoy Steve Witkoff says he held a productive call with European leaders on the next steps in the Trump administration's efforts to end the war in Ukraine. Witkoff says they touched on strengthening security guarantees and making sure the war doesn't restart. The U.S. has added Venezuela-linked crude oil tankers to its sanctions list. The Treasury Department lists the Nord Star, Della, Rosalind, and Valiant to its Venezuela-related designations list. Treasury says it also sanctioned 4 China-based entities tied to those vessels. The enhanced premium tax credits for the Affordable Care Act expire at midnight tonight. Those credits help lower health insurance costs for millions of Americans, but their lapse could also mean higher costs for about 22 million enrollees. Former Consumer Financial Protection Bureau Director Rohit Chopra tells Bloomberg TV that healthcare costs will rise in an environment where consumers are already struggling.
I think we're going to expect much higher credit card debt for people who are having to put that healthcare expense on a credit card, or even using things like buy now, pay later in a healthcare setting. All of that, I think, is going to be a bit of a drag on consumer spending going forward.
Former Consumer Financial Protection Bureau Director Rohit Chopra. Everything Congress does in 2026 will impact the re-election campaigns for its members, and Republicans will have a problem getting more support beyond their hardcore voters. Brown University Alfred Taubman Center for American Politics and Policy Director Wendy Schiller.
Independent voters who have backed to Trump in 24, by all accounts in polling, have soured on the president and soured on the GOP. I think healthcare is really important. Premiums rising for a big bulk of that group of voters. They're not going to become happier with the Republicans.
Professor Wendy Schiller on Bloomberg TV. Weekly jobless claims fell by 16,000, below all estimates for the week of Christmas. Chief economist Claudia Sahm at New Century Advisors tells Bloomberg TV, we are not seeing signs of deterioration in the labor market.
The layoffs have not picked up in a way that was the downside risk that the Fed has been very acute to, and we haven't seen that. So we're not seeing the bad news story. Frankly, we still need to see some good news.
The figures have been volatile, but that's typical around holidays. Continuing claims have decreased to 1.87 million in the previous week. And the world is ringing in the new year. The party started early in Auckland, New Zealand, but it's now 2026 in Dubai. At this hour, Qatar is welcoming 2026. Athens is next as New Year's celebrations make their way around the globe. Zohran Mamdani will take office as New York City's mayor at midnight. He will be sworn into office at the old City Hall subway station by New York Attorney General Letitia James. Mamdani will also be the first New York City mayor to be sworn into office on a centuries-old Quran. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.